What's up, everybody? Welcome to Narco Cop MMA, and this is the Lambo Plays podcast, episode 86 for UFC Vegas 87. I'm your host, Mike, along with my co-host right here, Timothy Troiano. What is up, Timothy? Are you ready for this juice to the fucking gills card?
I am, dude. I've got my needles ready. I'm trying to juice up like these guys. I want to have veins on my stomach like Oliveira by the end of the show, hopefully.
All right, that's going to be very hard to do, but yeah, let me go over to my chat here. Man, it's been a 2 weeks of juice just rolling one after another, except for Royval. My boy Royval came through, but let's go over to chat. Dixon, what is up, my man? Thank you for joining. Andrew Pettin. Looking forward to hearing the breakdowns and where the value is on the chalkboard of a card. I know it's gonna be tough sledding here, to be honest. It's gonna be a crazy card. MMA Goulash. Let's fucking go, brother. Very stoked about the UFC. Oh, that's nice. My man, Charles Johnson is fighting there. He's pumped up. Big Steve, what is up? Mushroom MMA, what is up, Narco and Tim? One more sleep, yes, sir. Joshua Frick, Narco, we want hot sake or habu sake. No, it's cold sake. Already half the bottle down, by the way, pre-show. Eric, bets fights. This card might be as well been designed for prop betting. Many think me thinks Narco and Tim are about to feast. Hopefully, man. I don't know, when cards are this fucking juice, it's honestly hard. Even the props suck. Because they're so damn juiced, they're not going to give you anything really good. Shafiq, what is up, my man? Let's freaking go. There will be blood. What's good, brother? Let's see who else here. Parachuter, where can I find James and Jewish parlays? I think that's on Lucrative MMA's channel. Lucrative MMA. Normal Joe, hope everyone's feeling lucky. Could really use a win this weekend. Let's go, man. Let's go, Normal Joe. Jesse Q, what is up? Craig Crowley in the house. Let's go. Ice Viking. I was looking forward to another Raul Rosas Jr. impersonation again this week from Tim, but the fight got canceled yet again. You're going to have to wait for that. No more Raul Rosas till he fights again. Jason, what is up, my man? Boom. Let's go. Kiwi Brew. Let's go, brother. Fresh Gambles, what is up, my man? Thank you for joining. Joe LS, my dude, what is up, man? Thank you for joining. Luke Golding, what's up, brother? St. Stephen, let's go. Hoping for a couple of whisper bets. I actually have a whisper bet today, like a real legit whisper bet. Evan Zucker, what is up, my man? Thank you for joining. Let's make some money on this card, says Mike Mad. Yes, sir, let's make it. Here he is, Scottsdale, Arizona, in the house. Yes, freak. Thank you for joining, my friend. Mitchell Hooper, what's up, boss? How you doing? Matthew Mack, get your pen and paper ready. What is up, Finesse the Books? Hit that like button like the man said. Dumpy, what is up, my guy, Dumpy? Dumpy's busy working his ass off. The Becca, excited for the parlay picks. Let's go. Wahib, Lambos are waiting for us in the parking lot. That would be very nice. Kavooth MMA, always a fun show. Thank you, my friend. Drake. Hola, fellows. I got Sugar Show. That is the wrong card that you got this for. Hope you have your cut up from last week, Narco. Best show on the platform. We know you guys come through. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Londo, I live in St. Louis. That's awesome. Yes, sir. Marcus Erickson. This card is kind of sacky. Yeah, it's definitely kind of sacky. SC for all. I'm locked in. Just got home from work. Victor De Jesus. What is up? Tron, what's up, my man? Mr. Jingles in the house. Pock up, Adam Whitehead, Ishu, what is up, my man? Straight to the top, yes, sir. Ali Abdulaziz is in the house. Thank you for joining, Ali. I got a couple of guys you might want to sign. Remdog, what is up? And I think that's it. 143 before we start. That's a really nice beginning here. We'll start it out with the first fight of the night. It is in the lightweight division. The 17-5-1 Loik Radzhabov versus the 15-3 Abdul Ali Salwadi. Tim, this one's yours.
So, yeah, I mean, I think Loik is a guy that is primarily a wrestler and kind of front-loaded in his fights. He seems to gas after 6-7 minutes in every fight. Whereas Abdul Karim is kind of the opposite. He's got some serious cardio. He's also a grappler primarily, but in his Dana White Contender Series fight, he was happy to strike and actually looked pretty good, improved striking wise from his previous fights. He's defensively liable, and the chin is kind of a question mark for Abdul Karim. So I feel like this fight there's kind of three props that stick out to me. Loic KO1 is plus 1,200. I think that if he gets a finish, I think it's an early bonk, overhand right, probably trying to set up a takedown or something like that. But I think that the late round props on Abdul Karim are good. He's going to keep pressure on Loic the whole fight, and he's going to, I think he could cook him late. So I'll go with those plus 850, plus 1,300 on Abdul Karim. And if you want to hedge, go Loic KO1.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with your take. I don't. So Loic historically is not really a bad, like he's been 5 rounds in the PFL, right? I think more than once even. I think once against Manfio and once against Schultz. Yeah. So he's been more than once 5 rounds. But for whatever reason lately, like against Ribovax, he looked very bad. I mean, Rebecki just destroyed his leg. I did have an early bet on El Salwadi at minus 150. But after doing more tape, I think pre-flop, it's kind of bad to bet El Salwadi just because round 1 probably is more of a Loic round. But here's how I picture this fight going, honestly. If El Salwadi is smart, he is a very good lead leg kicker. So he kicks with his lead leg to the inside portion of his opponent's legs, and he did it very well in his Dana White Contender Series fight. He literally hit that leg multiple times in round 1, reddened it up, kind of slowed down the movement of his opponent, which was an extremely, extremely smart game plan, because Hardwick, he wants to come forward. He wants to move on you. And he slowed him down with those kicks, man. And he kept him honest. And when you look at Loic historically, if he's not wrestling, yes, he's throwing punches, but he throws a lot of kicks, a lot of inside leg kicks, sometimes on the outside. And one thing that clearly stuck out to me on tape is Radzhabov's lead leg. He just does not like getting kicked. He does not like getting kicked. And I'm not just talking about last fight. Last fight, here's what kind of like when I was breaking down the tape for this is what caught my eye a lot. Radzhabov, in multiple fights early, when he gets kicked, he just doesn't look comfortable. He looks shaky on his lead leg. He switched stances with the first kick he ate against Natan Schultz. And this guy cannot fight southpaw, by the way. And then you could see in Manfio fight, Manfio didn't really throw a lot of leg kicks. He landed like 1 or 2. The first one he landed, he spun him. The second one he landed, you could see he was favoring his lead leg again. But Manfio just never went back to the kicks. He barely kicked there in that fight. Now when he fought Rebecki, who's normally a guy that throws big overhands and is grappling, right? Rebecki's a grappler. He wants to get you on down and smash you. But this dude clearly watched tape, or his team watched tape, and has said, bro, this guy does not take leg kicks well. He just absolutely started off chopping the legs from the very beginning, bro. And it was done. He was done. He was toast. So I do think round 1, it's going to be a little bit, hairy for El Salwadi maybe. But if he's smart, he's kicking the lead leg, whatever it may be, inside, outside, whatever he can do. And then as this guy has his leg chopped off and not a lot of movement and possibly can't even defend takedowns very well at this point, right? Then you go to town on him, Tim. And so round 2, round 3 is what I have marked at 850 and 1,300. But we're going to start this card with a whisper bet, Tim. And the whisper bet here for me is El Salwadi submission round 2 and round 3.
Love
and
it.
they are astronomical numbers. You can get 6,500, I've seen, depending on what book you look at. But Al-Sawadi is a grappler by heart. He's not a striker. And he literally takes everybody to the ground. Even in his last fight against Hardwick, he took him down in round 3. Now, Loic has never been subbed. Okay, and he's probably not easy to sub a guy like him, but he's put himself in a lot of fucking bad positions and fought out of them. Now, Al-Sawadi has a pretty nasty arm triangle, and he's a strong fucking dude. I could see round 2, round 3, maybe most likely round 3, getting that sub. When this guy's kind of cooked and he's tired, that's another thing. Cardio, right? Sawadi pushes a crazy pace. He's nonstop, constantly moving, constantly throwing. So, the whisper bet of the week, Al-Sawadi, submission round 2 and round 3.
Where did you see the 6,500 at?
Well, it was on Bet365, but it might have moved. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Let's see. It was definitely on Bet365. And it doesn't look like it's still there, actually.
Plus 20 plus 2,100 if you combine them, and it's like 45 and 40 to 1 or something like that.
Yeah, 40. I mean, you can still get 40 and 45 to 1. And listen, at the end of the day, this guy did a grappling match recently in Saudi Arabia. This guy's known as a grappling. He's known at Fortis MMA to be an extremely strong wrestler. So as Loic slows down, I think he can get takedowns. I think he can possibly get a submission, to be honest. So yeah, let's move on here. Fight number 2. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 24-1 Ludovic Klein versus the 11-3 late replacement AJ Cunningham. And I mean, what are they doing to this poor guy? This is Mitchell's cousin. I don't know why they're putting him in this matchup here. I guess he's short notice, whatever. But he's gonna get killed, man. Like I know he's tough, but the only good attribute he has is he's tough. What does that mean? That means you're getting an ass kicking every single time. And honestly, I had Steven win pretty fucking big to finish by knockout last fight, and I knew it. I knew it was coming, and I knew this guy's never been finished before, this Cunningham dude, right? But I knew it was coming here, just because he took a beating before that in that Mullen fight as well. He was, beat up in that fight, bleeding all over the place. And when I looked at his tape again today, Tim, I mean, there's no head movement whatsoever. I don't even think this guy knows what head movement is, to be honest. Like, he moves it at all, like zero head movement for this guy. He's walking in, throwing caution to the wind. He really doesn't have a lot of power, and he's going to get smoked here, man. Like, I mean, I would be shocked if he's going to survive 3 rounds here against Klein. And, Klein can do it in a multitude of ways, bro. It could be maybe ground and pound. It could be fucking head kick. It could be a left from hell. I mean, he just dropped a very, very, very durable motherfucker in Ignacio Bahamondes, right? Last fight. I think it was last fight, right? Yep. He dropped him pretty fucking bad. Almost finished him in round 1. So, short notice, punching bag. I mean, I'm just going to go with flat round 2, Tim, KO. Because the lines are awful here, dude. They're absolutely awful. And that's what I'm saying. When there's these big favorites, you try to search and search. I just think it might be he's tough in round 1, but he's not tough enough in round 2. So KO 2, plus 500 for Klein. And the line is not great, but it's the only thing I like here.
I was going to go that route, but then I just, I don't know. I'm with you. I think that it's probably it's probably like a head kick or something fucking meme-ish here. But I'm gonna take a stab at some sub props because Ludovic has a tendency to grapple guys and slow down fights. So I think that your KO2 could be there if he grapples early in this fight. I don't know why he would, but like I'm just it's not like he's really super threatened on the feet with this guy, like you're saying. But in a lot of his fights, he's going for takedowns, and he's going for takedowns early in fights. Why he does that, I don't know. Even in fights where he kind of has the edge in the feet. So I'm going to go sub 5 plus 500, sub 1 plus 900, sub 2 plus 1900. I do think it's a bonk, but I'm like you said, man. I think it's just this is a kind of like flip a coin, and I'll take just a shot on the wider numbers.
So you know what I noticed in the fights that he grappled, he's mainly fought like longer guys,
right?
And guys that can strike. I don't know if he necessarily needs to do it here, dude. I mean, look at the guys he's grappled, right? It's only 3 fights he's grappled. Ignacio Bahamondes, he's a long kickboxer. Jai Herbert, he has very good striking, and he's very long. I mean, he has like a 80-inch reach or whatever. And then Michael Trezano.
Yep.
That's it. I don't think he's fucking... Why would he need to grapple this dude? You know what I'm saying? Maybe it happens. I just think people are just kind of... I think you need to look at the matchups he's grappled in, right, and then kind of say why he grappled there, as opposed to if he's going to grapple here. So let's move on. Fight number 3. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 9-1 Christian Leroy Duncan versus the 11-4 Claudio Heber. What do you got here, Timothy?
It was funny, man. When you said that you had a whisper bet, I was like, I wonder if we have the same whisper bet, which we didn't. But this would be I'll go to the regular ones first, and then I'll start whispering here. So Claudio Ribeiro, for me, man, is just a question. I just usually have one question with his fights, and that question is the witch going to be in his corner or not? Because if the witch is in his corner, then it's the fighter that's fighting against him actually goes up in odds. Their odds go better that he's going to win. It's a reverse hex that she plays on him. So I like Duncan here. I think Ribeiro's extremely fraudulent, and I'm not like super like high on Duncan either, to be honest. But I just think that he's better all around fighter. I mean, he just is. He's a better grappler. He's got better cardio. He's better durability. Longer metrics are there on his side. There's a lot of edges that he has. So minus like a KO1 for Ribeiro, I think that this is smooth sailing after that point. Can Duncan finish him with something flashy in the first round? Yes, it's possible. But I'm going to go with Duncan round 2 and Duncan round 3. And the whisper bet that I would have in this one would be Duncan by sub in round 2 or 3. Taking a chance. Like it's basically like you haven't seen Duncan really grapple that much in the UFC, but he does. He's done it on regional tape, but it's also a fade on the grappling of Ribeiro. Like, I just think that he's just dog shit on the ground, and I feel like the athleticism and just it could be a club and sub. It could be just, like takedowns could be free for this guy. I don't know that he goes for it, but when you're getting 28-1 and 45-1, I think those are good looks. So, yeah, Duncan round 2, Duncan round 3. Give me a slight whisper there.
Yeah, I have. I've given out Duncan submission. I liked it all week, and I was waiting for the numbers to drop on FanDuel and all these other ones. And if you do have Hard Rock, I think Hard Rock is still hanging a crazy number. I think it's 1,200. Let me look, 1,100. So they're still hanging a very good number on Hard Rock. If you have it, it's 1,100. I hit it at 12 there. I just don't rate Ribeiro being very good. He's got power, and that's it. He's one punch at a time. He's extremely plotty. He's unathletic. Is he strong and powerful? Yes, but he's one punch at a time. He is very hittable. He does not move his head. He gets destroyed in the clinch, and that's where Christian Leroy Duncan is very, very good in the clinch. Christian Leroy was substantially bigger at faceoffs, like the taller, bigger dude. He's younger at 28. He's the one that's going to be improving. And the one thing that you look at Christian Leroy Duncan that people don't seem to, I guess, maybe look at is that he only has one sub in his pro career, but look at his amateur career and look at the different types of subs this guy has. Omoplatas, triangles, guillotines, rear naked chokes, key locks. So this guy has a sub game in his arsenal. It's not like he hasn't. He just hasn't seemed to been grappling in the UFC. He doesn't, he wants to strike with guys, and he's been playing around a lot. And, in his loss, it's Armen Petrosian, who's miles better as a striker than Heber. Maybe he doesn't have the power Heber has, but when you call technical striking, when you talk about combos, Armen Petrosian is a very, very high-level striker. So I don't see, outside of a mean KO, big overhand or something, Claudio Heber is going to get pieced up here, and he's going to get finished. I have a very strong feeling that he's going to get finished here. Now, hopefully it's not round one. I think it's round 2, round 3. In his 2 losses in the UFC, there had been round 2. So he shows like a pretty decent chin when he gets cracked initially. But as he gets tired, he seems to crumble. So 2-3 is 470, and I think you can get 900 if you look around. I think ESPN bet has 900 for round 3. But yeah, I mean, sub and 2-3 is where I'm going. It's most likely KO. But if, and this is a big if he decides to fucking grapple, he's going to get the sub, in my opinion. So let's go. CLD. Moving on. Fight number 4. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 14-0 Javid Basharat versus the 10-2 Ayman Zahabi. And this is my hot take of the week, boys. Javid Basharat by knockout at plus 500. And here's my reasoning. Javid Basharat, yes. Has he shown that he's not a huge finisher in the UFC? Absolutely. 4 fights in the UFC, no finishes. I get it. But all these guys that he faced, to me, are young, are more athletic, are quicker, are faster than Ayman Zahabi. Doesn't mean they're better fighters than Ayman Zahabi. It's just that they were quicker. They have more, they have more youth to them than Ayman Zahabi is almost pushing 37, guys. The guy is a flat-footed kickboxer who has decent power in his hands, has a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but he's going to get pieced up here. He's going to get his legs chewed apart, dude. Like, Basharat's going to kick those legs like no tomorrow. He's going to hit you to the body. He's going to poke you to your body. He's going to hit you to the head. He's going to attempt a takedown. He's going to just do everything. And I think he's going to get a knockout here, honest to God. I think he's going to pick him apart. He's going to fuck up those legs. And that's where I think he's going to get a knockout here. I think he needs to show something. He's been winning a lot of decisions. I think this is his finish right here, to be honest. When you look at Zahabi, I don't mind the guy. I think he's an okay fighter. But, like, who has he really beat? I mean, look at his record. Like, who has he beat? He lost to Vince Morales, guys. This is the same guy that lost the decision to Vince Morales. Who has he beat? Ricky Tercios, who threw 200 punches at the wind on mushrooms? I mean, I don't count that as a win. The guy was literally punching at air the whole fight. It was hilarious. So, yeah, man, I mean, I think Zahabi's an okay fighter. There's just levels to this game, and Basharat is, to me, at least a couple levels better than him. when I watch tape. So give me the KO, man. I'm going to go on a limb here. I know a lot of people are playing decision. They don't think Basharat can finish. I think a finish is coming, man. Zahabi's been finished once, I believe. It was spinning elbow. It wasn't like something, but he's also hasn't really faced anybody to finish him. Who the fuck can finish him from these guys? Vince Morales? Vince Morales can't finish, he can't get himself out of a wet paper bag. So it wasn't going to be him. And it's, Draco's terrible. Ricky Tercio's not really a finisher. And Urich Lang, he got caught in round 1. I mean, we don't know what would have happened if that fight extends, but nah. I don't want to hear it. It's not insane. I think he's going to get pieced apart, dude. I really do. So give me Javid Basharat KO plus 500.
Yeah, I don't hate the look. I can't get there myself because I've had some bad luck betting on Javid by finishing fights in the last few attempts that he's had, fights where I'm like, God, he should be able to fucking finish these guys, especially if he cooks them late. And then he just gets to be like super fucking safe. Like I think both of these fighters are extremely like hesitant to take damage. Like they just don't. I think Zahabi fights from significantly farther away than most fighters do. And he's a counter puncher that doesn't throw usually more than 50 to 60 strikes in a fight. And I don't disagree with you that I think that obviously he's slower and the striking acumen is worse. But I just feel like this, again, this is like, I think it's a Basharat decision, but I just feel like the ends by split at plus 650. Like the Basharat has lost a round in at least one judge's scorecard in like I think his last 3 fights. And I don't know. I think he lost a round to Mendonca. And I don't know. I just don't feel like the guy really separates really that huge in fights where he's better. Like he's clearly, I think, better than all these fighters that he's fighting. He lost one round to Gravely. So I don't know. I just feel like it could be closer. It could be like a very low volume, boring ass fight that Zahabi maybe connects and gets 1 round and steals 1 judge potentially. I don't think it happens, to be honest, but I think like it's just for a fight that I think goes to decision, the end split plus 650, why not? I saw somebody with the end split for Zahabi at plus 30. I mean, 30 to 1. I mean, like if you're on Zahabi, I think that you have to bet that because.
Well, I mean, if you like split, you have to bet 30 to 1.
Yeah, 100%.
Like if you're saying the fight goes to split at plus 650, then of course you got to bet 30 to 1. Like
yeah, you have to take a stab. You have to take a stab at it. Yeah, and if you're on, I think if you're on Zahabi as well, like this decision is. Like, I mean, can he KO him? Yes, I mean, it's possible, but I just think that the decision in the split is like 80% of his win outcome.
The thing is, I kind of feel like, I mean, MMA line mover saying if he chops his leg, that's the only reason he's going to get a KO. I think when he makes him stationary, when he's a stationary target is where I think he can tee off on him, like even with his hands. Like it doesn't matter. You can only take so much punishment. Your legs are chopped off. You can't fucking move, and now you're a stationary target versus a precision striker. Like, you can call him whatever you want. Like, he's a really, really good striker. So, the guy really, what I see on tape is he just likes to touch you. He doesn't sit down on his strikes at all. Like, he just wants to touch you, and maybe he does the same shit again, and I'll tell him to go fuck off, but. We'll see. I have a sneaky suspicion on this one that I think he's going to finish him. Moving on, fight number 5. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 19-3 Vinicius Oliveira versus the 11-2 Bernardo Sopage. Tim, this one's yours.
I got to be honest. I did not tape more than 2 fights on Sopage. So I've not seen very, very much of him. I did tape a decent amount on Oliveira. Sopage, if I'm not, or is Sopai or whatever it is, am I mistaken that he actually had a fight coming up? So it's not really short notice. Like,
yeah. He had a fight in another week.
Yeah, so he's ready. He's prepared. It's not like it's not like actual short notice like we've talked about before. Both of these guys are on their debuts. I think that's a factor for what bet I'm going to make. I mean, I think the over under is on a 1.5 here, and it's like I don't think like minus 140 or something like that, or maybe plus 140. I can't remember which one it was, but it's over 1.5 rounds for these guys. So they obviously are expecting like extreme violence. Something in my head is thinking like I think from the fight that I saw with Sopai, or the fights that I saw with Sopai, he seems to be a significantly more defensively responsible fighter, striking, than Oliveira does. And I think both of these guys can hit really hard. Oliveira, not only is he defensively responsible, but he just is wild as shit with his strikes. So to me, I kind of think like I'm going sneaky on this one. I'm going like counterintuitive and I kind of think like could be a little bit of respect from both of these guys, and or if some minutes versus moments kind of fight. And I think that it could be Oliveira cracking him, and I think it could be some minutes winning and distance management by Sopai. So I don't know. I'm going to go with the end split here at plus 750. I know it's a little bit wide. I do think that there's a definite chance that either one of these guys could finish. But if it isn't, I think this fight could be like if both guys survive and are durable in this fight, I think it could be a really, really exciting fight where it's close to judge.
Yeah, man, that's funny, man, because initially I thought there's no way this fight hits the scorecards, because the way Oliveira fights, he's a madman, bro. He's coming forward, hands down, chucking huge shots. And, he gets countered. He's been knocked out before. He's been dropped, blah, blah, blah. But Sopaj is a little bit of the opposite. He's a counter puncher, but he likes to skirt. He likes to skirt the cage. He likes to move around. He does not like pressure from what I've seen. Round 3 against Ismail, I didn't like how he looked against pressure. Like he just didn't like it, and so you would just circle, cover up and circle, and then counter punch here and there. So I have a feeling you might be right, man. And that's what I've written down, split 750. Yeah. Look.
That's awesome.
It's freaking split right there, 750.
I believe you. I believe you, man. I thought I was coming out of a fire take here.
No, I think Oliveira might bonk him, to be honest, or he can get bonked, obviously. But
right.
The more I think about it, the way I see him fighting against pressure fighters, he's literally look at the fights that went to decision. That's the thing. Nuzi pressured him, it went to split, and Tariq Ismail pressured him, and it went to decision. Everybody else mainly finished outside of the Alexi fight. So it's like, I don't know, man. I really think this fight it has a chance to go to decision. And why I like split is, okay, well, there's one guy that's going to be pressuring clearly, and that's Oliveira. And visibly, he might be eating the bigger shots just because he has no regard for defense, like totally. Zero regard, right? But man, does he hit fucking hard. And that's the thing that kind of scares me, is like, can Sopaj take those shots? I honestly don't think he can, but he's defensively a lot more responsible. He's keeping his hands up, stuff like that. So
do you think Oliveira's a little bit front loaded too, or no? Do you think
he can go? I think his cardio's fine. I mean, if you look at him, and you look at his history as far as, getting late round finishes. Yeah, of course, he's getting most of his finishes in round 1. But, I mean, he has a handful of round 2s. But, yeah, I mean, most of his power is early for sure. But even in like the Taleb fight, like he got knocked out in round 3. But he looked fine in round 3, honestly. He wasn't like he was gasping for air. He was still coming forward trying to kill Taleb, But he got caught. And he got destroyed in that fight.
I haven't seen enough of Sopai. Did you see like any like like solid grappling from him, like and wrestling.
He's not out grappling Oliveira, in my opinion, because Oliveira is a big. Did you guys see him at face-offs? He's a big motherfucker. He's huge. So I don't think he's grappling Oliveira. I don't think. Maybe he mixes it in, but he's not going to grapple him, like hold him down and stuff. Right. So I think that's out the door. It's probably going to be striking matchup, you know. So, yeah, I mean, split. There he is, John Kelly. What is up, my man? John Kelly with fight number. I think it's called Fight Numbers. I don't want to goof it up, but fightnumbers.com. If you do DFS, one of the best sites out there for MMA, MMA DFS. What else we have? Tim, I think he is front loaded. Yeah, I mean, he can be a little front loaded, but I don't think he death gasses. I really don't.
No, yeah, I don't think it was gas as more as like carries his power and end of 2 and 3 as much.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of people do, to be honest. You know, like there is some, but not too many. Let's move on. Fight number 6. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 15-8 Urich Anders versus the 13-10 Jamie Picket. And Urich Anders by submission plus 500 on ESPN Bet. Urich Anders recently got his black belt. Urich Anders has been doing a ton of grappling competitions. He's also been doing grappling matches that you can see on UFC Fight Pass. And he is now facing guys. And I understand Urich Anders only has one submission in his career. But he is honestly now facing the worst fucking grappler that he has faced by miles in the UFC. A guy that loves getting subbed. And Urich Anders got his black belt. Like, I don't know what else to say here. Some of the books are on it, to be honest. There's books I'm seeing 275 submission for Urich Anders. There's a reason why they have it that low. Normally, this guy's sub props are 1,000, 1,500. All of a sudden this week, they're 275, 300, 350. Well, guess what? That's because it's Jamie Picket, and he's going to sub this guy, man. I really think he's going to sub him. Last fight, he fought with a broken foot. 3 weeks before that, he said, I broke my foot, and I still said, fuck it, I'm going to fight. He fought Marc-Andre Barrios with a broken foot. This is a huge step down for him, a monstrous step down. He looked very good on the scales. He's running through Jamie Picket, in my opinion. So, submission, plus 500. It's only on ESPN Bet now. So, run over there and get it. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, man. I'm on the same one. I'm currently pressing the plus 400 on DK, even though I know I could get plus 420 on FanDuel because I got it right set up right now. So I don't care about the $20. Don't want to lose the opportunity. Yeah, man. Same thing. Same prop. Honestly, think it also could probably happen in the first 2 rounds. I think that obviously it could happen late, but I feel like if he goes out and really proactively grapples, gets the fight to the clinch and gets him down, I don't know. I just see a lot of quit in Picket. And I just don't see a guy that is fighting out of positions, knows what he's really doing down there. So yeah, man, same thing. So sub plus, you have 500, I got plus 400 or 420. And then sub 1 is plus 900, sub 2 is plus 1,300. I think if it happens in 1 and 2.
I mean, is it coincidence that Urich Anders has had 3 fucking grappling matches on Fury on 5, 6, and 8 in the last, year and a half? I don't think so. And the guy just got his black belt. I really don't think. And he just won double gold at IBJJF in Atlanta. So
the thing that's interesting too is like the bet online going from 800 to like 275 on sub.
Yeah, bro. Like it's. Honestly, this dude is just not good with submission defense. He gives up his back. He does a lot of stupid shit. And listen, granted, Urich Anders, he's only got 1 sub. But again, I'm looking at the level of competition and the type of guys.
He's got 1 sub?
Yeah, he's got 1 sub.
Okay.
I'm looking at the type of competition and the guys he's facing. And, when I compare him to Picket, I mean, these guys are much better grapplers. So, okay, I said to myself, I can see why he's not getting subs here. It's because these guys know what they're doing as opposed to, I've heard Picket, to be honest, from somebody that, I think he trains in the same gym, that Picket is a white belt, man. Like he doesn't really doesn't really do jiu-jitsu much. So let's move on here. Fight number 7.
Dixon Sider was asking, you said it was just sub. It was just sub for his prop. I think it's sub. Yeah, sub and sub 1-2 for me.
Fight 7. It is in the flyweight division. It is 16-7. Matt Schnell versus the 11-1 Steve Urich. This one's yours, Tim.
Yeah, man. Schnell is just the.
You got something buzzing, by the way, Tim.
Oh, that's my damn my buzzer. I'm sorry, I can't shut it off. Schnell is just a guy that is just so hard to back in fights for me. I've bet against him a bunch. The only time that I actually had a double bet in his Sue Madarji fight, I had Sue by KO, and then I had him by sub, I think, and it was a beautiful hedge bet and actually worked out. But I think that there's a it's just like a clear durability problem and issue with Schnell. He's a guy that could be winning a fight until he just loses a fight. I mean, he's not a bad fighter. He's not a bad grappler. He's not a bad striker, but then he gets hit and then you see him start to wobble and do the chicken dance. And then you're just like, oh, this is fucking over. So I think Urich is, he typically will finish by submission when he finishes people. He's gone to decision in his last couple, but I think he hits hard enough. And I think that he can easily snatch a neck on Schnell at any point in this fight. So it's a used Lambo. It's plus 240. Urich sub plus 240. Sub 1 plus 460. Sub 2 plus 1100. I think that he probably. I mean, he could easily KO him. Don't get me wrong. There's not a question in my mind that he could finish him either way. So if you're parlaying Urich ITD, I don't hate that either, even though it's a fucking shit juiced number. I do think he finishes him at some point. But yeah, give me the sub. I think he's going to snatch a neck.
Yeah, man. I really like the ITD here. I played it earlier, but it's kind of juiced now too much. It was minus 125, but I think it's like 160, 170 now. But it's like pick your poison, dude. It really is. It's like, to me, it's like pick your poison. Like, this guy's a shitty chin. This guy goes for a lot of subs. Can he club and sub him? Can he just knock him down and then ground and pound and it's over? Like, Schnell is so, like, his chin sucks. You know what I'm saying? You gave sub. I'm going to have to go with KO. I mean, that's the glaring, like, shit part of him, right? And you know, Urich by KO, you can get 260, 270 range. 260, sorry, on Unibet, Bet Rivers. It just kind of, it's a little bit of a bigger number. I think it's the way usually, you know, when we talk about it, what's the biggest weakness Schnell has, right? His chin. He gets knocked out, right? He can get subbed, but his chin is his clear weakness. So, and I think Urich hits very hard as opposed to what his record states. I mean, he hurt Dvorak, he hurt Costa. In the regionals, where the one guy where I forgot who it was, I think it's Shannon Ross. He dropped Ross really fucking bad and then finished him by sub. So it's like, yeah, maybe it could be club and sub, but it's plus 260. It's a little bit bigger. I'm going to go with KO. You know, it doesn't mean I think I wouldn't play, to be honest, if you're betting this, to be honest, and I wouldn't even fucking play these. I would just go ITD or maybe if you have something like round 1-2 for Urich. So I don't think this is hitting round 3, to be honest. I think he's going to finish. If it's round 3, let me tell you guys, if this fucking fight hits round 3, it's going to be sweaty for Urich, in my opinion. It really is. That means he didn't fucking hurt him probably, and he survived, and he's doing well, and it's going to be fucking sweaty. It better not hit round 3, in my opinion. So, yeah, Urich maybe 1-2. I don't know what that price. If you can get that prop, I wouldn't mind it. Moving on, fight number 8. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 16-0 Umar Nurmagomedov versus the 16-1 Baksat Al-Mah. And I'll kick this one off. I like Umar here. I mean, It's not like a hot take. I mean, the guy's minus 1,600. But I've been hearing how people are raving about this Al-Mah guy, and he's skilled, and he's this, and he's that. I mean, I watch a lot of these octagon fighters, bro. He looks like a typical octagon fighter to me. Like, he grapples. He's a decent grappler. He's an okay striker. He's a decent fighter. But, I mean, I'm watching some of these fights, Tim, and he's fighting these Brazilian guys. I don't remember which one of the Brazilians, whether it was Jan, the last guy. By the way, that guy's 5'2", and he's in a flyweight, or the guy before him, who's 5'5", and also a flyweight. Okay, between one of those two guys, I don't remember which one, he dropped this guy on his ass bad in that fight. And now, all of a sudden, this guy is fucking fighting. It's not like you're stepping in the UFC short notice to fight a normal guy. He's probably fighting one of the best 35ers in the world in Umar. And I see people kind of like making a case for this guy somehow. It's like they're trying to justify that the price is too big on Umar. I don't think it is. How the fuck is this guy going to beat Umar? He ain't out grappling him. He's not out striking him. So in what world how does this guy beat Umar? I don't see it. There's no fucking way he beats him. Umar's going to shit on this guy. If he wants to grapple, he's going to sub him. If he wants to strike, he's probably going to even knock him out, to be honest. So I think this guy's going to, I mean, he just knows how to grapple. He's going to grapple, in my opinion. Umar sub 2-3, 370. I mean, Umar has elite grappling, elite back takes. And if he gets your back, you can say goodnight, you know? So I'm going to take it here. You know, it's sub 2-3. This guy's been sub before in his loss against Ulu. So Umar sub 2-3 plus 370. I don't get the love for this Al-Mah guy. I don't think he's all that, to be honest. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, I wanted to say this about the Urseg fight. This is the Lord of the Vale from Game of Thrones. Like, we are not sure. I'm not sure that he's not the Lord of the Vale. So I think that the Lord of the Vale is potentially fighting again next tomorrow. So put that in your notes for future reference. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I don't see it either. Obviously, this is not a hot take that the minus 1,600 is going to win. I feel like it's a sub most likely, but I feel like it's probably like he connects on something and then this guy tries to stupidly grapple and then he gets like ninja choked or something like that. If he proactively grapples and if Umar proactively grapples and takes him down, then like you're saying, it could easily be like a rear naked choke after a back take. But yeah, man, the knockout was so slick against Barcelos. It was such a great combination off of the kick and then the slip left hook. That was a fucking awesome shot. I thought he actually knocked him out at first with the kick, and then they replay. You know, the replay is like, oh no, he didn't kick him at all. He just came through with the punch that quickly. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Umar also has a tendency to kind of like chill a little bit early. He's not like coming out like full rabies mode. He kind of gets the timing and gets the range on guys. So because I think he can KO him or submit him, I'm going to go with round 2, round 3, plus 410, plus 650. I do think it's a sub. So, I mean, if you want to go sub 2, I think it's plus 650. But I'm just going to go safe with the round 2 and round 3 with him. I think he finishes him late.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, guys, there's levels to this shit. And you can't just come in from Kazakhstan, from fucking Octagon League that I know really well, that you have a loss actually in that league, and try to come in and fight Umar on short notice.
Dude, this guy's he's fighting on fucking like miniature golf tracks, dude. He's like,
not only that, like let's take into account this guy had to fly like a fucking 20-hour flight. It's like a huge, long ass flight, like 22-hour flight, short notice, fighting one of the best fighters in the world. This guy is fucking fucked, man. I will be shocked if he even gets the decision, to be honest. I will be shocked. Yeah, maybe Umar kicks his ass for 3 rounds and he survives. It's possible, but honestly, I see Umar covering this price. He's going to cover it. Like, I don't see how this guy wins or even wins minutes for that matter. Let's move on. Fight number 9. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 24-7 Alex Perez versus the 10-0 Mohamed Mokaev. I got an update on this, guys. Alex Perez actually is thinking of pulling out now. He says he's got the stomach virus. He's not feeling good. So he might pull out here. No, I'm joking.
Oh my God. Jesus.
Everybody was probably fucking going nuts right now. But go ahead, Tim. Give us the breakdown.
Yeah, but my face is surprised. I'm like, oh my God, not again. This is honestly, this is a really fucking interesting fight to me. I wanted so bad. I'm really torn on this one. I'm being honest. Like, dude, Alex Perez is. I just think that he's tragically, like, we just don't know what this fucking guy is. Like, we don't know where he's at right now in his mentality. I think there's so many question marks on him. I also think that, there's question marks on Mokaev too. I mean, like, Mokaev is I think he's a poor striker. Like, I don't think he's got really much on the feet at all yet. He has not developed that part of his game really hardly at all in my opinion. I think that his wrestling is good, but it's not like elite fucking wrestling. Like, losing to it's just like cardio chain wrestling. It's just like, really good cardio, chain takedowns, doesn't always get his first one, but keeps going at you, keeps coming at you. And Perez to me is like a very solid wrestler who on the feet is significantly better than Mokaev and is losing to guys that are fucking champions. Like, the competition that this guy is losing to, and I'm not saying like his wins are phenomenal, but like his losses are to literally the last 2 champions in the division. And I don't know, man. To me, it's like, if he has any of his game at all and just kind of counter grapples and doesn't try to grapple himself, which is when he gets subbed, it's like, dude, I don't know. I just feel like he could keep this on the feet and then do pretty well against Mokaev if he can keep it on the feet. And then the other side of me goes, Mokaev's going to keep pulling shit out of his ass. And even though he was losing to Tim Elliott and would have lost a decision if that fight goes to decision, he pulls another ass pull and he gets the round 3 sub. And against Fialho, he's like fucking breaks his knee. He pulls his knee and makes it a fucking banana going up to his face, and he survives it. And then he fucking chokes him out. Like, so the meme ability of Mokaev to pull out another round 2, round 3 finish for me here is not like, it's not out of the question. Like, that's what he keeps doing. You know what I'm saying? But the Perez decision at 650 and Perez by split 18-1, and the round 2, round 3 for Mokaev would be my plays here. I'm really unsure on this fight. I'm really I keep seeing a bunch of.
You got too many plays, Tim.
I gotta pick one. I gotta pick the one that I'll go with. But
which one do you like?
Fuck. I think it's gonna be Mokaev finishing him. I think he's gonna fucking meme him again and pull out some shit out of his ass. But I could really see this being like a little bit closer early, and Perez actually having some success in this fight until he gets memed. So I'll go with that. But I do not. I don't know. I do not really see. I do see there's paths for Perez. I will keep saying that.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good wrestler. He's a good, pretty good grappler. He loves to get subbed, though. I mean, it's all over his record. Like, he just loves to get subbed. It's something he's addicted to. When he faces guys that kind of grapple him, he says, "Okay, sub me," and he gets subbed. So Mokaev is kind of going to oblige. He's going to grapple him. Might not have success early because that's the thing kind of with Mokaev too. Early when guys are fresh, he kind of has a little bit of trouble like getting guys down and controlling them. But he pushes a crazy pace. Like, the guy keeps going with grappling, right? And this guy's addicted to getting subbed. I don't think his head is in fighting anymore. There's rumors out there that, this might be his retirement fight. The guy has a couple of businesses. He's talking about them in an interview. It's not like he's hiding them. Got business here. I got a business there. I'm looking into real estate. And if you look at his last interview, not the media day, not the interview for media day, but the one before that, you know what the interview is with? It's with some real estate guy. It's a 1 hour something interview, like 2 or 3 days before his fight. And it's literally talking about money, business, and real estate. I mean, what do you want me to think when are you really into fighting? You're making this money. And he's even talking about the Akai business doing well. He's had it, I think, for like 18, 19 months. Someone else told me that he has a wings business. He owns a wings business. I know for a fact he said he has real estate. So it's like, and then they ask him the question, hey, a lot of people are questioning your commitment to MMA and, you have these businesses and, well, I love MMA. It's my passion. It's this and that. But of course, I have to take care of my family. I have businesses. They're doing well. And, I just feel like listening to this guy, I don't think he wants to fight anymore, to be honest. He's probably getting one last check. He probably makes decent money. How many fights does he have in the UFC? A lot. There's a lot of fights in the UFC. This is probably number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is fight number 10 in the UFC. So it's probably on his third contract. He's probably making decent money. He's like, fuck, I have one more. Maybe I have one more fight or maybe 2 more fights. But the thing to me is like, how can you trust the guy to bet on like this guy at this point? I can't come. And I wanted to bet him. I promise you, I wanted to fade Makhachev. I've been saying it. I wanted to fade Makhachev here because I don't think he's as good as, people seem to think he is.
Me too.
But this is just not the guy. I can't fade him with this guy, dude. I cannot fade him with this guy. I think this guy's going to get subbed, and it's going to be sub 2-3 in my opinion. It's 340. The minute he starts slowing down a little, Makhachev's going to turn it up. He's a lot younger. And this guy's young. Listen, this guy's young, Perez. But he's talking about injuries. He's talking about this, multiple surgeries. There's so much shit on this guy's plate. It's like, bro, he made it to the weigh-ins. Everybody applauded him. But my God, he looked like a ghost out there, bro. He did not look good at weigh-ins to me. So he looked like like he was seeing a ghost. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he shocks the world and beats Makhachev here. But, Makhachev, they're talking about a title fight now. That's even making him more hungry, in my opinion. And, well, not only he's everywhere, man. He's grappling with the great Basharat brothers. He's all over the place. He's getting good fucking rounds in with very, very high level people. So meanwhile, Perez, I heard he's bouncing around. He's not at Oyama anymore. He's going to UPI. He's going over there. He's going to Extreme Couture, I think, or the other place, whatever. So I can't trust him. I have to trust the younger guy, the guy that's hungrier. And when you look at these two guys, Tim, one of them really sticks out as way more hungry than the other guy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, one guy got his knee torn to bits and wouldn't tap. You know what I'm saying? The other guy, he taps pretty fucking quick when he gets in something. So let's move on. Fight number 10. It is the co-main event. It is the 10-0 Vitor Petrino versus the 10-4 Tyson Pedro. I'm going to go with 2-3. I have to. It's a system play. It's 460. It's 850. They're low numbers. I don't care. Pedro is round 1 or bust. It's not like, it's not like it's a small sample size, guys. Every single one of his 10 wins are round 1. Every single one of them. That is not a small sample anymore. That is not coincidence anymore. The guy is round 1 or bust. That's just what he is. He doesn't have cardio to go 3. And if he does go 3, it's going to look like Shogun Shogun, the fucking old man Shogun is hunting this guy down in round 3 and destroying him, bro. Like, it's just bad, man. He's up against a really young, hungry guy, fucking big hitter, good grappling. I don't love, listen, this is another guy I want to fade, Petrino. But this is just not the guy I want to fade him with. If you want to play, listen, if you want to play Pedro, then round 1 is there. Play him round 1. It's 850. Maybe clubs and subs, maybe he subs, maybe he knocks him out. But that's where you play Pedro. I don't see him winning anytime else. So 2-3 for me, 460, 850. Let's move on. What do you got, Tim?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I will say in addition to what you're saying with round 1 with Pedro here, I would not be shocked if it's a sub. Like I think that I think it's like not equally as like 50-50 of the outcomes that he wins in round 1, but I think it's closer to like 60-40, to be honest. Like I think that there's a chance that he could take down Petrino, or he could club and sub him. Dude, Anton not only hurt him on the feet, but also had his back. I had sub for Anton in that fight, and I just feel like if Pedro gets that position, I think he's definitely can sub him in the first round. So I think that line is pretty stupid. It's like plus 2,600. But yeah, I just think I think Petrino does wear on him and eventually does get him out of there in round 2 or round 3. Same props as you. I don't have a method for him. I think it could be most likely it's OKO, but I just Pedro has just shown, like you said, you get through the first 5 minutes and you're going to win. I mean, almost every time he's lost every single fight that's gone outside the first 5 minutes. So yeah, I'm with you on the same props, but I do think that it is worth mentioning that the Pedro's jiu-jitsu is solid, especially early. He's a black belt, I believe, and I think that he could catch him in something early if he gets a position like Anton got. I think Anton sucks, and the positions that he had on Petrino were pretty bad.
All right, yeah, I mean it's true. I mean he looked pretty bad in that fight. I admit. But also Anton, I think, is like he could probably fight through adversity way better than Pedro. I don't think Pedro can fight through adversity at this point. Like the guy is just, I don't know. Pedro being way too disrespected. I think this is his second underdog ever, and he won that fight. Yeah, we'll see. Pedro round 1. I think if you want to play him, it's Pedro round 1. 245 live viewers. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate each and every one of you. Hit that like down below, please. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And once you're subscribed, hit that bell right there, the notification, so you know when we go live here on my channel. Yeah, also my Discord is down below. $25 a month. You get to chat all you want, MMA, give you my plays, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, I think it's time to move on, Tim.
Do we not do the parlays today if the likes don't get over the whatever mark?
What the fuck are they?
I think they're at like 85 right now.
How do we have 245 with 85 likes? This is
so difficult, man. Pushing that index finger on the button is just really...
No. I had at least like 70 messages last week, and all these messages said that the left clicker to their mouse button was broken.
Right.
So they could not click the like. So I get it, guys. You got a broken mouse. You cannot click that button. I get it. Buy a new mouse. I don't know what to tell you, but let's move on. Main event of the night. It is in the heavyweight division. It is the 13-5 Jairzinho Rozenstruik versus the 12-0 Shamil Gaziev. And Timothy, kick us off here in the main event.
This is another one where I'm like flipping coins on this bitch. I'm like, God damn, this is such a volatile ass fight. part of my brain says I tried to fade Gaziev with Boudet, so how do you not try to fade him with Rosenstruck, right? But the thing with Boudet is like I thought, okay, well, it's it could, if he can survive the first round and stay at range and maybe even clinch or like do something. The grappling difference between Boudet and Rosenstruck is just galactical differences, and the ability to even cage push or to use that as a tactic in a fight is like, again, it's like just you never see this with Rosenstruck. He's always at range counter punching and trying to bonk guys. And Boudet, I thought, would maybe try to do that, but all Boudet really wanted to do was backpedal and get punched in the face. So to me, this fight is very volatile. I feel like Rosenstruck could easily KO him in literally any round, probably in the first 3 rounds, most likely if he does. The Gaziev size difference in the face-off to me was pretty big. I mean, I looked at those guys, and I don't know if it's that exactly, Evelyn. Exactly, you're making that point. The size difference to me was huge. I don't know if it's that maybe Gaziev is actually listed smaller than he actually is, or Rosenstruck is rated actually bigger than he is, but they seem to be significantly smaller than their measurables on tape. So I feel like Gaziev in this fight, to have his best path is an early takedown and like try to grapple fuck this guy and get him out in the first 2 rounds, kind of like Almeida did. I believe that Rosenstruck is very fishy off of his back, and takedown defense has not been really that good. He doesn't seem to be like a strong physical dude. He kind of seems to be like a fatter heavyweight that's got a little, pudge in the belly. So I'm going to go with Gaziev's sub is plus 300. Sub 1 is 6-1, and sub 2 is 16-1. I think that again, it's super, super volatile. I don't see like the easy striking on the feet for Gaziev like in the Boudet fight. This is a different fighter. Rosenstruck is, I feel, a decent amount better on the feet. And I think that he could counter the shit out of him if he comes in wild and reckless like he usually does. So if Gaziev is smart, he grapples, he tries to take him down early and tries to take a neck or tries to get an arm triangle, something like that.
Yeah, man. I wanted to play Rosenstruck so bad here because Gaziev, you want to talk about caution to the wind when you're coming in and striking. Like, this guy's hands are down, dude. He's getting clipped so often in a lot of his tape. Like, he got dropped against Stosiak pretty fucking bad. Got wobbled again after that. His striking defense is non-existent. His hands are down. You cannot do that at heavyweight, dude. Like, you cannot. I know it's been working for him, but he really hasn't faced a big hitter like Rosenstruck. And Roz has huge, huge power in his hands. Like, he has, I don't know, it would be probably Derek Lewis, Ngannou, and probably him as elite one-punch hitter-quitters. Like, the guy hits like a fucking truck. And if he lands on you, it's good night. It's one hitter quitter. And the thing is, like, I've seen Shamil get hit and get up. I don't think if he gets hit flush with Roz, he's getting up. That's the problem. Like, and the guy, gas tank is very, very fishy. Like, I really don't know what to make of his gas tank. Like, I don't think. So someone was saying, maybe Gaziev decision. It's plus 1,300. I go, fuck that. I said, you know what? He might get a heart attack before he fucking gets, to a decision. It's not happening, bro. This guy is not going to a decision. He'll have a heart attack before the 25 minutes are up. So I really don't know how to play this fight. I kind of lean Gaziev because of the wrestling. I think he can get takedowns. Actually, I like his shots. Like, the timing on his shots are really good and they're quick. And I think he can get Roz down. I'm pretty sure he can if he does that. But again, he doesn't fight very smart though. He's in there chucking bombs against guys that he should be wrestling, And then you look at Dana White Contender Series, he gets a takedown. He hurries to try to get the back, and guess what? He falls off, and he's on bottom now. You know what I'm saying? And he's scrambling to get up. So he makes mistakes. I had Gadziev written down here at round 2 KO. It was 1,000. I just kind of like the price, I guess. Maybe Rosenstrike survives round 1 and both guys survive, and it happens in round 2. The one thing I will say, it's kind of important, is a lot of times with these main events, we see them we see them extending a lot more than they should. And a prime example of that, right, Tim? Tell me which fight is a prime example of one that everybody thought was going to end in round 1.
Almeida Lewis.
Correct. And it's a kind of a, I'm not going to put Gadziev as Almeida type of grappling, but it's kind of a similar fight, right? Because if Gadziev, gets him down, he might not be able to finish in certain points. The big difference is I do think Almeida has better cardio than Gadziev. So
yeah, that's the difference to me too.
Yeah,
that's the big difference.
I mean, Gadziev round 2. This is before anything. This is, I think, a perfect fight to live bet. If Raz gets out of like round 1 and halfway out of round 2, I'm gonna slam him on the live line. He's gonna be a dog. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Why is my fucking camera like that? He's gonna be a dog, and I'm gonna absolutely hammer him on the live line.
Yeah, the KO
cardio.
The KOs for Raz are good too, man. Like, I know that we've both been on Gadziev here, but like the KO 1 is 380, the KO 2 is 950. Like you said, man, if even the KO 3 is 19-1, like I really feel like he could bonk him in any one of those rounds. And I don't know, man. 950 is like all he's got to do is survive 5 minutes with him.
My thing is
survive on the ground.
My thing is I kind of like, who's a similar grappler? Like, who can, like, okay, Blades, right? He's a very good wrestler, like probably the best wrestler in heavyweight division. The guy went 3 for 6 in takedowns, so he stuffed 3 of them, and he got up twice from those takedowns. So it's like, okay, now I'm like thinking, like I'm running all these scenarios in my head, and it's like, if this is standing, and Gadziev has okay striking, he's not a bad striker, but defensively, he's a liability. He's a bad liability on the feet. So, I don't know, man. This is it's Suriname versus he's not from Bahrain, by the way. This guy is not from Bahrain, but he claims to be from Bahrain because KHK team. That's the other thing. This one's supposed to be in Saudi Arabia, and this guy is part of the KHK team along with Makayev, and they were putting in a main event there. Of course, the UFC wants him to win. It just doesn't mean he's going to win. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just going to go with Gadziev KO2 plus 1,000. It's a big number, whatever. But, man, guys, be ready to live bet in this fight, honestly, if it extends. I'm going to be, even Jairzinho, like, late round props. What are they? KO props. 3, 4, 5.
They're huge.
I haven't even looked at it, but I would honestly look at them.
19, 32, and 44-1.
I mean, why not? Why not? The guy has a 5th round. He carries his power very late. We know that. He literally knocked out Overeem with 4 seconds left, dude. And I've never seen a lip busted open like that in my life. So, yeah. I mean, plus 1,000, that's what it's going to be here. All right. Through 11 fights, 254 of you in here. Thank you, guys. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. And this is the Lambo Parlays. Tim, you want to kick us off here? You got the Lexus racing hat. Let's race to a win.
So I want your opinion on this, man. I've got a progressive one that I've done, and then I've got a kind of a round robin round one.
Oh, God help us. We got to put in 25 of them in this one. Go ahead, Tim.
Here's the thing. I want you to know, I want your opinion on which one of these is better for the people. I've been asking around here. Duncan and Petrino round robin there. round robin their whatchamacallits, their round 2 and round 3s. It goes from 29-1, 49-1, 52, and 89-1. I think both of those guys do finish late, so I kind of like that one a lot. And then the second one, that's the progressive one, is Anders by sub, Umar by sub, Urseg. You could do sub or inside the distance. Add Duncan inside the distance. Add Makayev inside the distance. And if you do like the Anders sub, Umar sub, Urseg ITD is like 22-1. And if you do it by Urseg by sub, it's like 42-1.
I would do the first one.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's do it. We'll do the first one.
The crazy part is that's part of mine, which is crazy.
Nice.
But yeah, I like. Mine's a little different. It's not 2-3 like that. It's 2-3 KO plus 340 on Christian Leroy Duncan. It's 2-3 KO on Petrino at plus 420, and then the mix and match one is on Urich. So play him by sub and play him by KO, because I'm not really sure how he finishes. I do think he's going to finish at a pretty high clip. I just don't know which one. They're going to be roughly 70-1. But yeah, I think those are pretty solid, to be honest. Unless Petrino gets him out of there early or CLD does. If we get out of round 1, I think we're in good shape in both those fights. And then I really believe Urich is going to finish, man. I don't trust Schnell at this point. I think he's damaged goods. And yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be my Lambo. So it's kind of similar, except that I'll just have KO. I don't have sub, just KO for both guys, and 2-3 along with Urich either by sub or KO. So mix and match those.
Like it.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for staying till the end. 253 of you. Appreciate you all. We will be back next week. A great banger of a freaking card. I cannot wait to break that one down, man. UFC 299 in Miami, Florida. My God, what a freaking card. We will have a special guest next week. Me, Tim, and one other person. I said I was going to do a poll and get us, but this week, this card sucks. So I'm like, why are we even going to bring in a special guest this week? It's going to be next week. I might like kind of do a thing with pay-per-views, maybe bring in a special guest just for pay-per-views. It's probably a little better. But yeah, Tim, you got anything going on tomorrow with Sean or anything? Or Sean on hiatus still?
No, sir. No, sir.
All right, nothing with Sean. Let them know where they can find you, Tim. How's your coaching going too?
Coaching's going great, man. Kids are doing great. You guys can follow me on Twitter, X at Timothy_Troiano, and then I'll be in your Discord tomorrow with the live bets, which is obviously killing always.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good luck tomorrow. Hope you guys crush it for this UFC Juice to the Gills card. And one last thing, let's cash those tickets for UFC Vegas 87.